6 days shall work be done, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of rest and holy convocation. So whenever you read about the holy convocations, whenever you read about the feast of the Lord, whenever you read about the new moons and the Sabbaths, they're always interconnected with each other. Because the new moons and the Sabbaths are all together as one. You know, it says, "You shall do no work therein. It is a Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwellings. These are the feasts of the Lord, even holy convocations, what you shall proclaim in their seasons. Now check this out. Now, in the 14th day of the first month at evening is the Lord's Passover. So the 14th day of the first month is what? The beginning of the 15th day. So if the 14th day at evening, right, is the Passover, at evening, that's when the next day begins. Remember, the evening and the morning were the first day in Genesis, the first chapter. So the 14th day at evening is the Lord's Passover, which is what? The 15th day of the month. Now, what is that 15th day of the month? It's a Sabbath. And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread unto the Lord. 7 days you must eat unleavened bread. In the first day you shall have an holy convocation. What did it say about the Sabbath? 6 days shall work be done, but on the seventh day is a Sabbath of rest and holy convocation. Meaning what? It was a day of rest, right? So it says, "In the first day you shall have an holy convocation, and you shall do no servile work therein, but you shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord 7 days." It says, "In the seventh day is an holy convocation, you shall do no servile work therein." So the 15th day is a Sabbath, right? And then 7 days later is what? The 22nd. So you got the first of the month, which is the new moon, which is the Sabbath. You have the 8th, you have the 15th, you have the 22nd, and then you have the 29th, and then that cycle starts all over again. All right. Let me see if I have any more in that verse. Yeah, one more verse. "But you shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord 7 days, and the seventh day is an holy convocation. You shall do no servile work therein." All right. Now I'll jump down to the 23rd verse. In the 23rd verse it says, "And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, In the 7th month, in the first day of the month, shall you have a Sabbath." They're all Sabbaths. All the days, all the new moons are Sabbaths. But this one is particular because this is like a high Sabbath, which is the memorial of blowing of the trumpets. All right, a memorial of blowing of the trumpets and holy convocation. "You shall do no servile work therein, but you shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord." All right. Now from there, I'm gonna jump down to the 33rd verse, because you can hit all kind of points in this one chapter. All right. The 33rd verse says, "And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, The 15th day of this month shall be the feast of tabernacles for 7 days unto the Lord. On the first day shall be an holy convocation. You shall do no work there, no servile work therein. 7 days you shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. On the 8th day shall be an holy convocation," which is what? A Sabbath, "unto you. And you shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. It is a solemn assembly, and you shall do no servile work therein." Once again, the 15th day and 7 days. 7 days after the 15th day is what? The 22nd day. All right. It says, "These are the feasts of the Lord, which you shall proclaim to be holy convocations, to offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord, a burnt offering and a meat offering, a sacrifice and a drink offering, everything upon his day, besides the Sabbaths of the Lord, and besides your gifts." Why? Because you had the new moon, which was a Sabbath. You had the Sabbaths outside of the new moon. So you had the new moon Sabbath, and then you had the Sabbaths that came after that, which governed the weeks, which governed the rest of the month, and which governed the rest of the months after that, and which governed the years. "And besides all your vows, and besides all your freewill offering, which you give unto the Lord. And also in the 15th day of the 7th month, when you have gathered in the fruit of the land, you shall keep a feast unto the Lord 7 days. On the first day shall be a Sabbath, and on the 8th day shall be a Sabbath." It's plain. It's letting you know that from one Sabbath from one Sabbath to the next Sabbath is what? 8 days. right? Because you have the first day is the Sabbath, 6 days work shall be done, that's 7 days. Then on the 7th day, which is the actual 8th day, is another Sabbath. All right, now let's skip from there and let's go to the book of Ezekiel, the 46th chapter. You know, I mean, these type of studies like this are like kind of tedious, and it's only really meant for the serious-minded brothers. So I don't really expect, you know, too many views on this, you know, on shows like this, because, you know, the majority of Jake, they're just into this thing for entertainment anyway. They're not really into this thing to really get serious and really get into this information. They're really just here just to be entertained. If they can't be entertained, they ain't gonna watch it, because Jake has a very short attention span. Ezekiel 46:1. Thus saith the Lord power, the gate of the inner court that looketh toward the east shall be shut the 6 working days. So anytime there was a working day, this particular gate was closed, right, in the temple. Now, but on the Sabbath it shall be open. So any Sabbath days, this particular gate was open, and in the days of the new moon it shall be open. So if on the work days it's not open, right, but it's open on the Sabbath days and on the new moon, what does that mean? That means that the new moon is a Sabbath. And the prince shall enter by the way of the porch of the gate without, and shall stand by the post of the gate, and the priest shall prepare his burnt offerings and his peace offerings, and he shall worship at the threshold of the gate. Then he shall go forth, but the gate shall not be shut until the evening. Likewise the people of the land shall worship at the door of this gate before the Lord in the Sabbaths and in the new moons. And the burnt offerings that the prince shall offer unto the Lord in the Sabbath day shall be 6 lambs without blemish, and a ram without blemish. And the meat offering shall be an ephah for a ram, and the meat offering for the lambs, and he shall be able to give an hin of oil to an ephah. And in the day of the new moon it shall be a young bullock without blemish, and 6 lambs and a ram, and they shall be without blemish. So it's showing you here that the actual Sabbath, you have Sabbath days throughout the week, and then you have the main Sabbath of the month, which is the new moon. That's why these particular gates were only open on the Sabbath. Now let's go from there, and gonna make a couple more points and then just close this lesson, because, you know, it doesn't make sense to keep, you know, going over the same thing. You know, pretty much you get the idea. This is Amos chapter 8 verse 5. And then when you read scripture, like you read, I got a couple of scriptures here, like matter of fact, I might get a chance to hit a couple of them. But what you do is when you go through the scriptures, you have scriptures that are always connected with the new moons and the Sabbaths. You know, they always mention the new moons with the Sabbaths. Amos chapter 8 verse 5, saying, when will the new moon be gone, that we may sell corn? So why did they want the new moon to be gone? These are them wicked Israelites. Why did they want the new moon to be gone? Because the new moon was a Sabbath. Because it wasn't lawful to sell corn on the Sabbath days. So why would they want the new moon to be gone? If the new moon was just a feast day, as some of the scriptures say, you know, it is a feast day. If it was just a feast day, why couldn't they sell? Because it was a Sabbath. The Sabbath days are the only times of the month you can't sell. You can't do anything on those days. That's why it says, saying, when will the new moon be gone, that we may sell corn? And the Sabbath, that we may set forth wheat, making the ephah small and the shekel great, and falsifying balances by deceit. All right. Now I had a couple more scriptures here, which I guess I'll just hit one of them, just so you can get like an idea. But you can go through the scriptures. You type in new moon on your search engine, and you'll see how many times the new moons are connected with the Sabbaths, pretty much throughout the whole shebang, so to speak. This is the book of 1 Ezra chapter 5 verse 51 and 52. Now this is Zerubbabel when they were starting to set the temple back up. It says, also they held the Feast of Tabernacles as it is commanded in the law, and offered sacrifices daily as was meet. And after that, the continual oblations and the sacrifice of the Sabbaths and of the new moons and of all holy feasts. See? So they always connect them all together. All right? I guess the situation with the Saturday thing, that'll have to be another another show, maybe something brief, showing you why these so-called Jews worship Saturday. Because it's basically they worship in the god Saturn, which is another code name for Nimrod. All right, so pretty much. Oh, let me just hit this real quick. This is a testimony by this dude from Germany that started learning how to keep the lunar Sabbaths, right? And this is what he said. He said the Hebrew months are lunar months. Unfortunately, so are the constantly choose of the 7-day Sabbath or Shabbat on Saturn day, meaning of Saturday. Not scriptural at all. See, so Saturday he's saying is not scriptural at all. Because we never know when the new moon day precisely will occur. And from that first day of the month, we have to count to the next weekly Sabbath. See? So these people that out there that's talking that shit about that, the moon was created on the fourth day. So what? The moon was created on the 4,000th year of the creation. But when the Most High rested, He gave us a time. The Most High's time period is different from our time period. So He gave the month to govern the month. He gave the moon to govern the months. All right, and that new moon, then when it comes in, that's a Sabbath, and the rest of the Sabbaths after that are governed by the new moon. All right, so with that, I'm gonna close out, and I hope you brothers learn something. Until the next time, I say shalom.